word. So while you're so concerned about what's going on, how this is going to happen, how you're going to do this, how this is going to work, instead of relying on your innate abilities to make things happen, I want you to trust God. Hey y'all, it's your little bit sis CJ Renee. We're back with another episode. Yay! Alright, y'all. For all my new viewers, you know I love y'all. Y'all keep so real. Okay, I'm so excited. I love you guys so much. So today's episode we're gonna talk about is, if you were sufficient, why would you need Jesus? If you were sufficient, why would you need Jesus? You know what's funny? I'm gonna tell you what's funny, because I always got something that's funny. What's funny is, the reality of the situation is, I feel like God tends to remind us that we are not gods ourselves. We are not omnipotent beings ourselves, okay? We are not saviors. He tends to remind us. And he likes to remind us by invoking pressure, right? So if you're anything like me, you've learned how to cope. You've learned how to survive. You learned how to make do and use what you have, right? To fill in the blank, whatever. And you found yourself in a situation where you're like, why is my tools that I usually use not working, right? What is going on? Or maybe you had this great job that was providing you with all the finances that you need and being able to do all the things that you need to do in life, take care of all the bills you got to take care of, provide for whomever you have to provide for, and now all of a sudden you don't have this job no more. What are you going to do? The people, places, and things you used to rely on to make sure that you had what you needed to be where you need to be in life and be sufficient is no longer coming through. You might have to change what's going on with you. You might have to go back to the drawing board and figure something else out. But what I've come to understand is that the God that is able to deliver you out of the situations that caused your trauma, the God that was able to bring you to a point where you're like, you know what, God, I no longer want to live in my past trauma. I no longer want to live in survival mode. I want to start to begin my healing process. And the God that brought you to this page, to this platform, so that you and I can be in unity with each other, going along this healing journey, learning things and discovering new abilities and growing together. That same God is the same God that is going to be your all. He's going to make sure those bills is paid. He's going to make sure that all that you're supposed to do is going to get done. He's going to make sure that everything that you need and require for your life is going to be there. He's going to meet that need. Why would we need to be sufficient on our own when we have a God that gives us everything? I'm understanding now that the sources that we have do not make or break us. Let me rephrase. The resources that we have do not make or break us. They don't. Resources come and go, honey. Sometimes you can outuse a resource and it be dried up. But what's forever is the source. And God is my source. I hope God is your source too. Because one thing I know for a fact is that faith moves mountains. Faith excels expectation. Faith is what we need in order to be in our best thriving that we've ever possibly could ever have imagined. Because God is going to provide the things that you don't even think about. He's going to make sure you know that If this person is not in place, that doesn't mean you're not going to get it. If this thing does not exist, that doesn't mean you can't have it. He's going to allow you to know these things. He's going to remind you in small ways. Recently, I was dealing with a situation and it made me feel wearisome because I'm like, God, you know I'm not working. I have all these events and all these trips I have to get to. Where is this money going to come from? And where I used to make sure I'm good, where I used to tap in, my resource that I used to tap into to make sure I'm good and I have these things taken care of, it's no longer available to me. Prior to this, the job that I had is no longer available to me. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, God, what am I going to do? Bills are due. Okay? Things are coming up. I need this money in hand. What God continues to remind me is that though it may seem scary, though things may seem like they're out of reach, though I may feel like I don't know what I'm going to do, and I really want to so badly tap into my old ways of surviving, God is reminding me to lean on Him, to trust Him, to believe Him. God don't want you to be in survival mode. If that was the case, then He would make sure you have every opportunity to work for everything you get. Then and blessings wouldn't exist, nor would miracles. God don't want you to survive. It is not of God to be in survival mode. That is not what He created you for. I promise you, God created you to thrive. I promise you that's what He had in mind when He created you and put you on this earth. It had nothing to do with surviving. Everything to do with thriving. Thriving in areas of education and emotions, spirituality, finances, okay? Thriving in love, thriving in friendships and connections. He wanted you to thriving in ideas and creativity. That is what God has designed you to do. If it wasn't so, why would the world be basically manifested in a way where it can live and survive of itself? It didn't have to work for anything. The world, think about our delicate ecosystem. Think about it. The world was created to live and thrive off of itself. The world does not have to work. The world does not have to work. It just has to be in place. Oh, that was a word. That was a word. So while you're so concerned about what's going on, how this is going to happen, how you're going to do this, how this is going to work, instead of relying on your innate abilities to make things happen, I want you to trust God. I want you to trust God. Because who are we without Him? How would we have gotten to this point without Him? He is our creator. He's our developer. He is the finisher of our faith. We are nothing without Him. So before you take that next moment to think about what can I do to make this happen, let's talk about, God, what is my next step? God, how are you going to meet this need? God, what should I be looking for? God, what should I be waiting on? Okay? Because believe it or not, we have a lot of things to do when it comes to our own miracles. God wants you to be a part of your miracle. So that means you have to seek him. You have to speak to him. He wants to hear from you. Anyway, y'all, it's your little big sis, CJ Renee, and this is 31 and Thriving. I'm out. Bye. To ensure you don't miss an episode of 31 and Thriving, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share. It's your little big sis, CJ Renee.